actually kind of personally got a bit of like a funny kind of trajectory on how I, ended up being so in support of this. I think, my initial one of the initial things that kind of got me off my butt to be involved with the hub was I saw, a very large focus, I think, on denser urban development when I first got involved with the hub. And, in my kind of, engineering brain, I was like, but there's so much else to other other things, about climate action that, in addition to that, not instead of that. But and there, I still believe that, there are so many other aspects of climate change as well. But, I think what's really interesting and what's really powerful, especially at the local level, about rezoning and how we're building our city is this is something that is so obviously just a municipal something that's just a municipal jurisdiction to do. Like I think electricity is something I've focused on a lot with the hub, and I believe that there's a lot of municipal levers to pull on it, but they're relatively exotic levers if I'm being honest. Versus with zoning, this is something that is just very cut and dry. This is something that council is actually meant to do, and this is a lever that they are meant to pull. And I think it is a strong lever, like the way I've been trying to kind of talk about, how this is so related to climate is this is just like energy efficiency, but for our city. We're making it easier for people to live close to places they want to be. We're giving people more options and the kind of size of place they would want to be. Like right now, people are really biased into either living in an apartment, which due to other reasons that I'm sure we could get into, or apartments aren't necessarily developed in ways that are very family friendly, or live in a single family home, which is maybe a lot more space than lots of folks necessarily want, but has other perks that they're looking for, like maybe, some kind of yard or 3 bedrooms or something. So I think this is really about giving people more options. And, if they can live in a place that's, this is kind of an awful term, but kind of right sized for the kind of, lifestyle that they want. And if they can live, if there's just more housing that's close to close to places where people want to be, those are huge for reducing our emissions from buildings and reducing our emissions from transportation by making those shorter trips and enabling modes like cycling, transit, walking, etc.